What is good, people? We're back with another video, and this is going to be talking about the connection between the micro and the macro. You are the universe. Everything is inside of you. So the first thing you need to understand is that the law of mentalism. We are a thought in the creator's mind. Everything's being thought into existence. We have a spark of this mind, this same mind of the creator. And everything is a state of mind. Particles or atoms, whatever you want to call them, are a mental thing. They're a product of the mind. Everything's thought into existence. Thoughts influence everything. Thoughts are energetic effects which send out waves into the quantum field around you. And your consciousness is actually the universe experiencing itself, expressing itself, and viewing itself. So we are the creator, but viewing itself in separate bodies. And this is why they call the material world the world of illusions, because everything's separate here, but we all forget that we are all one. We've all been brainwashed to think we're all separate, but we're all one. We're all the same mind, the same consciousness, everything. So everything's created out of toroidal fields. God created the toroidal field. That's the only thing that exists because the atoms are toroidal fields. And it's the basis behind all creation. As you can see it in the owl's eyes. It creates the infinity symbol. And this was the apple. That apple is a toroidal field. And the toroidal field is made out of dielectricity, which is ether. Ether is black light, and this is counter space. This is another realm. This is what creates God to be omnipresent, to be everywhere at one place at all times. He is everywhere because ether is everywhere. And ether is infinite potential. It connects everything together, and that's what energy moves through. It moves through the ether, and that's black light. Everything is light, as it says in John 4:2. God is light. Everything's a vibrational state of light. So the torus field is made out of dielectricity, ether, black light, magnetism, which is white light, which is the center of the toroidal field. And magnetism radiates, it has no vibration. And then when white light splits, it turns into electricity, which is physical material, and that has a vibration. This is the Holy Trinity, the sun, the moon, Saturn. Saturn, the god of materialism. If you've watched my videos on Saturn, you know that Saturn is crystallizing everything into physical matter. And that's why his old name was El. The ancients called him El. And this is why we get L electricity. This is where L electricity comes from. Because L electricity is only a product of the physical world, which is redshift, blueshift, Adam and Eve. And this is what creates the redshift, blueshift is a product of magnetism. When magnetism, white light splits, and this gives us vibration. And this what creates the toroidal field, which is the basis of all physical creation. The sine wave is created out of the magnetic wave and the electric wave. The electric wave is the blue wave, and the magnetic wave is the straight wave, which is radiation. This is vibration frequency. So the magnetic wave is straight, and then you have longitude and amplitude, which is depth, which is dimension. You see how the electric wave has depth and a dimension. This is why you get the cross. This is the cross of Earth. This is the symbol of Earth, of bondage, of physical matter, because it consists of magnetic wave and depth, which is electric wave. I mean, this is where you get the sun cross or the earth cross, whatever you want to call it. It's the cross of physical matter, and the ancients knew this. This is why they used that symbol. Redshift, blueshift, which is the toroidal field, is the basis of all creation, physical creation. And this is why you have the police siren is red and blue. The Matrix movie, red pill, blue pill. You have red blood and blue blood in your body. The Democrat and Republic, the two parties, red and blue. Like your taps, on your taps, you have a red and blue tap. One's generative and one's destruction. Fire, destruction, water, generative. So this is the basis of all things. And electric wave has dimension, like I've already said, depth, material, and it's measured in hertz. It's measured in hertz because it hurts you. It decays because the electric wave has a vibration, and vibration always has to go back to a standstill point. This wave cannot go forever, but the magnetic wave will go forever. It's radiation. Magnetic is radiation. It radiates forever. It pulses. But the electric wave will at some point come back to a standstill point, and that's why it hurts. It decays. That's why our physical body decays, because we contain of electricity. this body is an electric body, and it will return back to stillness like a guitar string. If you vibrate a guitar string, you pull it, it will vibrate, make a sound, and then go back to a standstill point. It's the exact same with every single toroidal field within the body. It will decay, and this is why our bodies decay, and everything in creation decays. So we're born into sin, the sin of Eve. The sin of Eve is us biting into the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is the systems in the body. And the sin of Eve is biting into the sine wave. We bit into the sine wave. The sun moves in a sine wave. Our DNA is a sine wave. Time is a sine wave. Everything in this creation is a sine wave. This is why the dollar bill is a sine wave. Magnetism and electricity and electric waves in one. And this is the sun doing its sine wave, which creates, when you go bowling, it kind of creates that pin that you hit over. That's the pin of the sun. The zodiac sign is a sine wave because the zodiac sign is an expression of the toroidal field, because magnetism unfolds into 12ness. And that's why you have 12 zodiac signs, 12 systems in your body, 12 cranial nerves in your head, in your brain. So if you can imagine this, see where my pointer is. Always starts with Aries. Aries is the head. It's the first thing that's created in the womb. And this is Aries, the ram. And this is why it's called a cerebrum in your brain, which is the first thing that creates when you're in the womb. And what's the element of Aries is fire. Fire is the first element. F-I-R, first, because it's the first thing on the wheel, the first expression of energy. As you can see here, my pointer, this is the center of the toroidal field. It would go Aries, Virgo, Capricorn, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Then we go back to Libra. Libra would be center. But you see how the toroidal field is the expression of the 12 energies. That's what the constellations are, the energy, the expressions of the toroidal field. So it would go outwards, starting from Aries here, all the way back to Pisces, which is beyond the bottom half. But Libra would be the center. That's why Libra is the equinox. It's the equinox. Libra is when it goes from summer over to autumn. It's the equal. It starts to transition into the winter side. Equinox, equal, which is Libra. And that's why Libra has the two scales. It's symbolized with the two scales. That's because of, the sun moving over. It's being judged. It's equal now, but then it's going to tip over into the winter. That's why Libra is here, the center of the sine wave. And like I said before, magnetic energy unfolds into 12ness. Magnesium is number 12 on the periodic table. It's the sacred number. And this is why the scientists are NASA is trying to bring in another constellation to destroy the holy science of astrology. So Aries rules the head, which is Mars. Taurus rules the neck, the lower head. Gemini, the two twins, which is your lungs, your two twins, your arms, two twins. Cancer, the breasts, the chest area. Leo, the heart, which is the sun, which is fire, the center of the toroidal field. Virgo, the belly, which is the intestines. Libra, the kidneys, the two scales, the kidneys, balancing out everything. Scorpio, the sex organs. Sagittarius, hips and thighs. Capricorn, I've missed that out, which is the kneecaps. Capricorn, kneecap. Aries, which is the ram, which is the cerebrum in your brain. And then Aquarius, the calves and the ankles. And the Pisces, the two fish, the 2 feet. So everything corresponds, as you can see here. This is an ancient way of depicting it, of the folded human. And this is everything. Each constellation rules that part of the body, gives energy to that part of the body, makes you do certain things. So magnetic energy unfolds into 12ness, electricity unfolds into 7s. That's why when you get electric, the light spectrum that we see, it consists of 7 colors. Why we have 7 planets. The 7 planets give us our 7 metals and the 7 solfeggios scale frequencies. So the rotor, this is the rotor. And rotor is an anagram for Torah, the Torah, which is I think it's the Hebrew Bible. Don't quote me on that, but it's one of the holy books, which is the Torah, the Taurus. Everything goes back to the Taurus field because it's the basis of all creation. So the chief cornerstone, it says in the Bible that the builders rejected the chief cornerstone. The chief cornerstone You are the builder. You decided to incarnate into the physical world, into the electric world, the world of Saturn. When you are created in the womb, it takes you 9 months for you to be created. So, for example, if if you went into the womb here, it'd take you 9 months. So let's say you're born in Scorpio. So you'd go back 9 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You consist of all of these 9 energies because it takes 9 months or however long you took to be born. Some people are born earlier. You'd have to find out how many months you were in the womb for. But you consist of these 9 energies, and each constellation has a cell salt associated with it. And these cell salts are vital for your health, and your cells are the optimal health of your body. So the chief cornerstone that you rejected is these 3 cell salts, these 3 constellations. So you're mineral deficient in these 3 constellations. For example, fluoride, magnesium, phosphate, and potassium sulfate. So that's the chief cornerstone. And a cornerstone, people always get it rejected with the cornerstone. The cornerstone is not, it doesn't say the cornerstone in the Bible, it says the chief cornerstone. The cornerstone is a cornerstone of a building, but a chief cornerstone is the top of the pyramid. This is where we get the pyramid of the wheel. So you're mineral deficient in whatever 3 zodiac signs you're not. You were not in the womb for. This is the chief cornerstone you rejected. So the human body is the micro. It is the universe in a physical form. It consists of everything in the universe. Just like your consciousness is the universe watching itself, experiencing itself. Your body is the whole universe. 12 systems in the body, 12 zodiac signs, 7 chakras are the 7 planets. The Holy Trinity of you is your Temple of Solomon, the soul and the mind, the sun and the moon. You know, everything is in you. You consist of everything, all the energies, everything. Heaven and hell. Heaven and hell is a mind state. It's a state of the mind. Head, Hea, which is heaven, and the heel, the bottom of your foot, is hell. And the bottom of your foot is the soul. So they're basically saying, well, it's wordplay. They're saying that your soul is in hell because, you know, with the elites being in control. So they call the bottom of your foot the soul, trying to say that you're in hell. The Christ is in you. And this Christ is Greek for what? Christos. Christos is Greek for the oil, and this oil is produced in the cerebrum, the Aries, the ram, the cerebrum. It goes down the pineal, the pineal and the pituitary are underneath the cerebrum, goes down the pingala and the ida. The pingala being the positive charge connected to the pineal gland, pin, and the ida connected to the pituitary. And this is the 2 serpents going down the spinal column. And this is why Jesus goes from Nazareth to Bethlehem, and then Joseph and Mary are waiting for Jesus in Nazareth. Joseph and Mary are the pineal and the pituitary gland waiting for Jesus to come back up the River Jordan, your spinal column. So this is the oil. This is the story of Santa as well. Santa comes from the North Pole. Why? Because the North Pole of the Earth is the center of the toroidal field, and the North Pole of you is your spinal column, which is the North Pole of the toroidal field. The North Pole. He comes from the North Pole. This is the North Pole. This is the South Pole of the toroidal field. Comes from the North Pole, which is your mind. And he goes down the chimney and then back up the chimney. This is the chimney. And he drops off the present, which is the Christos, the oil. And this is why Jesus is crucified at 33, because he crosses over the vagus nerve at the top of your spine. When this oil comes back up the 33 vertebrae, these are your vertebrae here. When it goes up to the 33 vertebrae, it gets crucified at 33 because it crosses the vagus nerve, and he's crucified on a cross at 33. This is the story behind Jesus and Santa. The Ark of the Covenant in the Bible is the 2 hemispheres which cover the vital parts of your mind, the brain side, which is the cerebrum, the pineal, the pituitary, etc. So the 2 hemispheres are the 2 angels, the Ark of the Covenant. This is the Ark of the Covenant covering the 2 vital parts of your brain. So these are the optic thalamus is another part, and it protects the Christ oil, which is inside at the center of the brain. See, the Bible is all a massive metaphor about yourself because you are the universe. You are a microcosm of the universe. Your consciousness is experiencing itself and the universe experiencing, and your body is the whole universe. Your head's heaven. So Moses crosses the Red Sea. These are the two hemispheres of your brain. This is the corpus callosum, the Red Sea. So he's pretty much saying that he's uniting the two hemispheres of your brain, because most people in this generation are stuck in the left brain, which is just logic, reasoning, science and maths, writing. This is what school teaches you to do. It keeps you stuck in your left brain. And you want to cross over to you want to cross the Red Sea, which is the corpus callosum, to the right brain, which is awareness, art awareness, creativity, imagination, intuition, insight, using the higher mind, creativity, imagination. If you don't have intuition, then you can't read energy, you can't pick up on bad things. This is what Moses is symbolizing by crossing the Red Sea. And it's also the upper room where Jesus met the 12 disciples. 12 disciples are the 12 cranial nerves in your brain. It doesn't just represent the 12 zodiac signs, the 12 disciples. It symbolizes many different things. It's like I said, energy the universe consists of 12ness. So you have 12 cranial nerves in your brain, and that's the 12 disciples as well. And they want you stuck in your left brain, which is the five senses, materialism. So they say in the Bible that Satan blinds the mind. Satan is Saturn. If you've watched my videos, Satan is Saturn. And you consist of the Holy Trinity, which is the sun, moon, and earth. The soul, moon, the soul being your sun, the solar, the moon being your mind, the earth, your physical body. And Satan blinds the mind. Why? Because we enter a soul system. This is a soul system, not a solar system. And Saturn is the Lord of the Rings, which is the outer ring. When your soul enters the soul system, your soul starts to materialize. It hits Saturn. Why? Because Saturn starts to materialize you. You take on the 7 virtues, which are the 7 planets, which are your 7 chakras. And to get out of this soul system, you must get out of your lower nature, your animal nature, which is lust, desire, greed. The number of the beast, 666, which is Saturn, Satan. So you enter the soul system, you take on the 7 energies, which you turn into physical matter. And this is your descension from heaven to what you say hell. And then you must raise back up from matter to spirit. They say Satan blinds the mind. Why? Because your mind gets materialized. Your soul and mind get materialized. And when you get materialized, it's an intense experience. You lose the divinity within you. You forget the divinity. So Satan, which is the first planet, the first energy you take on, the material body, he blinds the mind. He makes you forget everything, your divinity. Then you must remember, ascend up Jacob's ladder, the 33 vertebrae, to heaven. And this is a microcosm of the macro, because you will ascend back up to heaven if you do this, when you leave your physical body, when your body decays. So when it talks about in the Bible, completely destroy them, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Canaanites, all the ites, this is what God says to the Israelites. It says completely destroy them. It's basically symbolizing saying destroy your lower nature. The Canaanites, cannibals. We're under a Canaanite system now, which is cannibalism. And this is flesh eating, lust, greed, all the demonic stuff, all the lower vibrational stuff. The lower nature, eating, sex, and survival, the lower 3 chakras. You must get out of these lower 3 chakras and return back to spirit, which is heaven, which is spirit, love, being holy, being truthful, being passionate. Going back to Satan blinding the mind, all of the planets are made out of these 3 symbols. Satan blinds the mind, and that's why Satan's symbol, this is the symbol for Saturn, Satan, the symbol of Saturn is the cross, which is physical matter, the earth, over the moon. The moon is your mind. So the Saturn symbol saying matter over mind. He blinds the mind. Satan blinds the mind once you enter the soul system. And you must remember, in the Bible, it talks about the Genesis, which is Eve, the sin of Eve, which is biting of the tree of knowledge. The serpent, which wraps around the tree. It says the serpent placed himself on the tree. Well, the serpent is the spinal column. It's the serpent telling you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is your nervous system. And eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil is doing bad things. For example, over sexualized, overeating, eating the wrong food. That's eating from your nervous system. It's decaying you and it's preventing you from achieving the God self, the God consciousness. This is the symbolism of, the tree on the serpent, telling you to eat from the left brain, with the left brain being the sinister. Sinister is Latin for left. That's sin. Sin is left. And left is lefty Lucy, Lucifer, right, righteousness, right, God, godly. The tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is your nervous system, because it determines good or bad. That's the only thing you experience in this world is your nervous system. And then the tree of life is the cardiovascular system, and the Garden of Eden is your body. So that's it for this video, people. I hope you've got a greater understanding of how you are the universe and everything is inside of you. Just keep in mind you are the universe experience in itself, and your body is a reflection of everything. The 12 constellations, the 7 planets, everything's inside of you. This world is an expression from the inside outwards. You can't affect the outside world to manipulate reality. Everything's inside of you. I hope you got a greater understanding of this.